Have you ever walked into a situation at work and felt the energy shift? Something just felt off, but maybe you couldn't put your finger on it. Perhaps you text a family member and no response for hours, or maybe days. Or you're enjoying a relaxing day at home. You ask your spouse a question. They grunt, or worse, say nothing. And suddenly you're wondering, what the heck is going on? You're feeling guilty, even though in your mind you haven't done anything wrong. That's the invisible storm of passive-aggressive behavior. You can't see it, but your body senses it's there. It's like a sudden drop in air pressure, and here's the thing. If you don't learn to recognize it, you'll keep getting caught in the same exhausting cycle. So let's break it down. Welcome to the Lessons for Life with Grandma Kate podcast. If you want to stop yelling, end the daily power struggles, or manage your frustration better, but don't know how, you're in the right place. I get it. I was there too. As a grandma, I finally started learning the emotional life skills I wish I'd learned at a younger age. Each week, I share simple, practical life lessons to help you develop your own social skills so you can be the calm, confident inspiration to others. And if you want a simple, practical way to start implementing these life lessons, I focus on one each week. You'll find the link in the show notes. New episodes drop every Thursday, so hit that subscribe button. And hey, if something here speaks to you, leave a quick review. This helps others find these life lessons too. Like a lighthouse, steady and strong, let's all shine a little brighter today. Passive-aggressive behavior is one of the most confusing forms of communication you'll ever experience because on the surface, everything looks calm. But underneath, there's tension, resentment, and unspoken anger brewing. At its core, passive-aggressive behavior is indirect resistance, meaning it's when someone expresses anger, frustration, hurt, or jealousy without ever saying it out loud. Instead of using words, they use silence, sarcasm, procrastination, or those small jabs of defiance. Passive-aggressive behavior shows up everywhere in marriages, friendships, workplaces, and families because it's often learned young and carried forward quietly. So why do people behave this way? Because at some point, they learned that being honest about their feelings wasn't safe. Maybe confrontation led to being yelled at or rejected. Perhaps expressing emotions was seen as a sign of weakness, so they found a safer route, one that kept them in control without being the bad guy. Underneath most passive-aggressive behavior is fear. Fear of being rejected, or losing control, or of appearing vulnerable. It's rooted in insecurity and learned coping mechanisms from childhood. Some people grew up watching adults freeze each other out instead of resolving conflicts. Others learned to bury emotions because their culture, family, or religion valued politeness over honesty. But here's the truth. What begins as protection eventually becomes poison because when feelings are suppressed instead of shared, relationships start to rot from the inside out. Passive aggression damages trust, breeds resentment, and turns simple disagreements into emotional minefields. It makes both people feel unseen and unsafe. In romantic or family relationship, it erodes intimacy and connection. In workplaces, it undermines teamwork and respect. And the red flags can be subtle. That indirect criticism disguised as humor, the cold shoulder that lasts for days, the guilt trip that leaves you questioning your worth. You notice it in yourself too, the way you withdraw when you're hurt, or the times you say, "It's fine," when it's anything but. And the toll it takes on mental health is real. For the person being passive-aggressive, it leads to bottled up anger, anxiety, and low self-esteem because nothing ever gets resolved. For the person on the receiving end, it causes confusion, self-doubt, and emotional exhaustion. The constant guessing game of, what did I do wrong? Passive-aggressive behavior is learned, but it also can be unlearned. The truth is, dealing with this behavior requires you to get clear about what's actually happening. You have to recognize when someone's "I'm fine" doesn't match their actions, when the cold shoulder tells a different story than their words. Then comes the hard part, staying grounded when someone else is trying to pull you into their storm. It's not taking the bait or refusing to chase after them, begging for answers, or twisting yourself into knots trying to fix something you didn't break. And finally, it's about how you protect the relationship, especially your relationship with yourself. It's setting boundaries without being cruel. It's saying, I'm here when you're ready to talk, but I'm not going to let silence be used as a weapon against me. Every time you refuse to play the guessing game, every time you stay calm and clear about what you will and won't accept, you're teaching people how to treat you. You're showing them and yourself that you deserve better. For years, I experienced the silent treatment, backhanded compliments, the full gamut, always believing I had done something wrong because that's also part of the behavior. The person never has to change if you're the one constantly questioning yourself. But once I named the behavior, passive aggression, it was like turning on a light in a room I'd been stumbling through in the dark. It took its power away because I could finally see the behavior for what it was. And I also learned that it told me more about the person I was dealing with than it ever did about me. This came into sharp focus a couple of months ago. I needed help with something and reached out to the best person to help me. For some reason, it ended up in a shouting match. And click, the phone went dead. For days, this person didn't talk to me. But now I see the behavior for what it is. Then a couple of days later, they acted as if everything was back to normal, as if nothing had happened. But here's the thing. I'm learning not to let people treat me that way. So when this person silently signaled that the silent treatment was over, without ever actually discussing what had happened, I didn't play along. I removed myself from the situation, took back my own space, and then calmly said, "Let me know when you're done giving me the silent treatment." There was a scoff, but the message was loud and clear. I know what you're doing, and I don't tolerate being treated that way anymore. Once you can see the pattern clearly, the question becomes, what do you actually do about it? Here are 7 life lessons that can help you understand the silent treatment and strengthen your relationships. And don't worry, they're listed in the show notes for you to refer back to. Number 1, you can't fix what you won't face. Healing requires honesty. You can't build a connection on confusion or silence. When you ignore what's really happening, the problem doesn't go away. It just grows roots in the dark. Facing it directly is what allows both you and the relationship to breathe again. Number 2, silence isn't peace. It's control. Silence often looks calm from the outside, but underneath, it's about power, not harmony. True inner peace doesn't come from pretending everything's fine. It comes from working through the hard conversations and finding understanding on the other side. Number 3, confusion is a cue. When you walk away from an interaction feeling confused or doubting yourself, that's your nervous system waving a red flag. It's saying, something here doesn't add up. Check whether the person's words and actions match. Clarity is your compass back to emotional safety. Number 4, awareness breaks the spell. Once you name passive-aggressive behavior for what it is, it loses its ability to control you. Awareness gives you a choice to stay calm, set boundaries, or step away if needed. And remember, someone's passive-aggressive behavior reflects their unresolved emotions, not your worth. Number 5, calling out the pattern of behavior is self-respect, not confrontation. You have every right to name the behavior without guilt. Saying something like, "Let me know when you're ready to talk," isn't being rude. It's choosing honesty over guessing. When you calmly acknowledge what's happening, you set a tone of maturity and emotional safety. Number 6, you can move on without forgetting. Your body remembers what silence feels like. The tension, the shame, the confusion. But awareness helps you release that grip so the memory no longer controls your reactions. You don't have to erase the past to grow beyond it. And number 7, avoid reciprocating passive aggression. Remain calm and assertive. When someone shuts down or jabs at you, it's tempting to match their energy, but that only feeds the pattern. Stay calm, breathe, and respond with clarity instead of sarcasm or withdrawal. Assertive communication doesn't just protect your peace, it sets a healthier example for everyone watching, especially your children. If you want to be the cycle breaker for this pattern of behavior, it starts with you. Your kids are watching how you handle hurt and resentment, whether you realize it or not. So model healthy emotional regulation instead of passive-aggressive behavior. Show them how you handle frustration, disappointment, and anger in a constructive manner. When you're upset, name it. Say it out loud. "I'm feeling frustrated right now because," and fill in the blank. Don't suppress it. Don't avoid it. Don't let it simmer beneath the surface until it comes out as the silent treatment. And here's what not to do with your kids. Avoid using threats or harsh punishments that teach your kids to hide their feelings or express them indirectly. Because passive-aggressive behavior takes root when people learn that being honest about their feelings isn't safe. Model to your kids so they grow up knowing they can express their feelings without fear of judgment, and that they don't have to play games or give people the silent treatment to be heard. That starts with you breaking the pattern. That's what emotional literacy looks like in real life. In conclusion, here are your 3 takeaways from today's episode. Number 1, name it to tame it. Once you recognize passive-aggressive behavior for what it is, fear disguised as silence, it loses its power over you. Awareness gives you the clarity to respond calmly, rather than getting trapped in confusion and self-doubt. Number 2, silence is control, not peace. The silent treatment doesn't keep peace. It keeps control. True connection comes from working through difficult conversations, not avoiding them. And number 3, teach people how to treat you. When you calmly call out the behavior and set clear boundaries, like saying, "Let me know when you're ready to talk," you're not being confrontational. You're choosing self-respect and modeling what healthy communication looks like for everyone around you. Whether you're figuring out your own feelings, working through a tough moment as a family, or learning how to talk things through with others, you're practicing the emotional life skills that help us grow into the people we're meant to be. Listening is wonderful, but nothing changes unless you use what you've learned. So pick one life lesson from today and try it out this week. That's when the magic happens. And just a reminder, if you want a simple, practical way to start implementing these life lessons, I focus on one each week. You'll find the link in the show notes. And if you want to keep building your social skills, hit follow for more from Lessons for Life with Grandma Kate. If no one has told you lately, everything will be okay. Tomorrow is a new day, and with it comes new hope. As I conclude this episode, I must state that this podcast is designed solely for educational and entertainment purposes. While I bring my experience as a parent and grandparent, it's essential that you know I am not a licensed therapist. This podcast is not a substitute for professional advice from a physician, professional coach, psychotherapist, or other qualified professional. Got it? Awesome. Until next time, what is one thing you are grateful for?